For this final lesson on 5.1 on arithmetic sequences and recursive functions, we're going to look at some hard examples so you can see what to expect in your homework and what I'm expecting for you to be able to do from this lesson. For example 1, we've been doing this one a lot. It says identify the value D in each sequence and find the next 3 elements in the sequence. So for example A, here we can see that if I go from 4 to 7, I'm adding a 3. From 7 to 10, adding a 3. And 10 to 13, I'm adding a 3. So simply my common difference is 3. Then it does say to find the next 3 elements. So if I keep adding 3, I'm going to get a 16, a 19, and a 22. So don't forget to do that second part, the next 3 elements. I'm actually going to leave B for you to try on your own, and I will post the key on Canvas for you. Example C, we can see this one's going down, so this indicates that I'm going to need a negative number here, or subtraction. So 100 to 88 would be negative 12. You can see that that is continually subtracting 12 each time to get the negative 76, and then the positive 76, subtract 12 to get the 64. So my common difference this time is a negative. If I continue that pattern, next I would get 52, 40, and then 28 would be my next 3 terms in that sequence. Of course, the next one, we've got your favorite, we've got decimals. I'm going to let you guys have a moment to try that one on your own. Hopefully you notice it's increasing, it's not actually decreasing, so that's your hint. Like I said, this one is increasing, so I'm going up. I'm actually adding, I'm getting closer to 0 here. So I'm adding, it looks like 0.3 each time. So 0.3, yeah, that's what it is. So my common difference here is 0.3. And then my next 3 terms, negative 1.5 plus 3 would give me negative 1.2, and then negative 0.9. and negative 0.6. Now, you're at home, so you are free to use a calculator if you need to. In this next example, I'm just trying to see if you understand all of this notation. This number you're on now, the previous number, and the next number. They give you the n equals 3. I would say it's also a good idea to find your common difference. It doesn't ask you to, but trust me, you're going to need it. So our common difference for this one is, it looks like we're adding 3 each time. So common difference equals 3. Though we're just going to hold on to that for later. We may or may not need it. Our number we're on now, that's going to be, what I'd like you to do is put the a sub 3 there to replace that n with your 3. We can see that our third number is 11. So that's our a sub 3. A of n minus 1, that means I want a of 2. The second term here is 8. A of n plus 1 is n was 3, so that's going to be a sub 4, which is the 4th number in the term, and that's 14. And just if you notice, I just said there, I said a of 4. That is another way to see that. Instead of a sub 4, you can see it either way. Once again, I think I'm going to let you guys try B on your own, and you can check your answers on Canvas. Just want to challenge you a little bit there. C. Okay, so our n is 5. Notice on the first example, we did not need our D. We didn't need D, but I'm going to do it again. Looks like this time it's decreasing. D equals negative 5. And so a of n would be, it says n is 5, so that's my fifth term. Okay, this is why I need d. I don't have a fifth term here. So 0 plus -5 would give me -5. So my fifth term is -5. My previous term would be a sub 4, and that would be the fourth term is 0 here. And my sixth term, once again, I don't see it, so my next term is going to be -10. So sometimes you have to just calculate those yourself by finding that common difference. Same thing here, we've got n is equal to 1. So I've got my common difference here. Let's see, it looks like we're going up by 6 each time. So my d is 6. So I'm going to hang on to that because I may need it later. So this a is sub 1, that's the first term, which is the 24. There's this tricky. We never talked about a 0 term. So what would come before this 24? Well, instead of adding the 6, I'm going to subtract the 6. And that would give me 18. So the 0 term, which really there's not such a thing, but we ran into it here. And my last one, so the next term would be the second term, which would be 30. In our last example here, it asks you to write the first 5 terms given the recursive function. A recursive function, this is what it will look like. There's a couple different versions here. A of 1, so you want to find that because it will always give you the first term to start with, so that makes life easy. My first term is 7. Easy peasy. What this is saying, I'm going to tell you what it says, but I'm going to give you and then I'll give you the easy way to do it. This says to get the next term after you found the 7, okay, after the first term, take the number you're on now, which is the 7, and add 4. This is your common difference. So we're just going to add 4 each time. So our first 5 terms, that was not pretty, so let me try that again. 7, 11, 15, 19, 23. Don't forget your ... to show it goes on infinitely. Okay, that was a lot of explanation here. Remember I said I was going to show you the shortcut? Shortcut, first term, that's all you need, the 40. Next thing you need is -5. D. Okay, you've got your D, start subtracting 5. 35, 30, 25, 20, ... you're done. That's your answer. There's your first 5 terms or your sequence. Okay. C is a little bit different. See, just a slightly different, but the same steps. Do you guys see this n is greater than 1? All it means is for anything other than the first term. But what does that really mean to you? You don't care. That's just a notation that means after you found the first term, use the second line in the rule. If you don't understand that, don't worry about it. Just look for this number on the end. That's your common difference. That's your D. So after that first one, ignore everything after that word 4. We're going to add 13, 14, 27, 40, and 53. And there's my sequence. Don't forget my ... And our final example here, we are going to start with a -16. That's my first term. Ignore everything else. I just need that number there. This is irrelevant. It's notation. Subtract 4 from -16, -20, -24, -28, -32, ... Don't make these any harder than you need to. There is a reason for all the notation, but for what we're working on here, you don't need to understand it. Just find that D and your first term.